Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man, check this out. All right, man. Man, I was just hollering at somebody on the horn. You know, basically about the landscape of boxing and just certain things that's just going on, and you just like, man, come on, man, what the hell is up with this shit? And you just you just really disgusted by the situation that's going on in boxing with, you know, certain fights not being able to get made. And then, like I said, if it ain't the promoters, it's some of the content creators. If it ain't the content creators, it's the fighters. So, I wanted to talk about one particular fight that I'm clamoring to see, and I would really like for this fight to get made. And one fight that I've been clamoring for to get made was Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. I feel like that fight would be just sheer fire, you know, just just on point. The battle of the DMV. Gary Russell Jr. coming out of the DC area and then Tank coming out of Baltimore. So, but hey, who am I? Just a boxing fan. I mean, who gives a damn what I think? Obviously, the fighters don't give a damn. Obviously, the promoters don't give a damn, and we know some of the content creators don't give a damn because they too busy sucking up to one particular person. Some of them, which I don't suck up to nobody. But one of the reasons why you can't get Tank versus Gary Russell Jr. is because from what people are saying that Tank he don't want to fight. Don't that sound familiar? He just don't seem to want to fight. Now Gary Russell Jr. may not be truthful when it comes to other situations, but he seemed to be truthful about this Tank situation. And see, this is what I'm saying. One thing about me, like I said, I'm not one to pull no punches. And I'm gonna say something, and I don't give a flying fuck who gets mad and who gets offended by it. You know, Something that Tank did just really bothered me. You know, something that he did really bothered me. And I'm a fan of Tank, but I just don't like certain things Tank be doing and certain things that's going on in his career. Floyd is trying to make Tank his carbon copy of him. And what he gonna do is try to match Tank up with certain type of style, certain type of fighters. Now you've been hearing for the last 2 years that Tank has been kind of hesitant to fight Vasily Lomachenko, which I think Tank can beat Vasily Lomachenko. I think he can actually knock him out. Then you hearing about some other fighters that he's not looking to fight. But Gary Russell Jr., I'm just not, what I'm saying, I'm just real disappointed, man, because that's just what I'm saying, that's just a fight that should be made for us. Can we get our own fighters fighting, which is black fighters? And I'm not afraid to say it. Why can't we get our fight? This is why I've been going in on a lot of these dudes that's speaking against Errol Spence and this Bud Crawford thing, who really don't want the fight to happen because, like I said, a lot of them ain't boxing fans. They fanboys, and like I said, I had to put them on blast. And at the end of the day, like I said before, I already told you, I don't fuck with all these dudes. Once again, that be hollering about that they, LDBC. They don't even have to be LDBC. But some of them just full of shit. Like I said, you ain't welcome on my channel. Straight up. I have nothing to say to you because you part of the damn problem. You really are. So, I just, you know, I just got to call it how I see it. And like I said, I wasn't really feeling Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz anyway in the first place. I felt the fight would end exactly how I thought it would end, with a little bit of a surprise. Now, to a certain degree, Tank was kind of struggling against Leo Santa Cruz. Going into that fight, I do feel that Tank closed the distance and I felt like he evened the fight out. But he clearly lost the first 3 rounds. And you can't get around that. He clearly lost the first 3 rounds. And a lot of people thought a lot of people thought that he was losing every round. But I felt that he started to close the gap and he started to land his shots, and he landed that perfect shot that, flatlined Leo Santa Cruz. Now, do I think they should fight again? No. And no. But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying about brothers not wanting to give other brothers a payday. And this is, once again, the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. Because like I said, until Andre Berto, Floyd didn't fight any black fighters after 2010. I mean, if you want to add an asterisk, if you want to add Miguel Cotto, Miguel Cotto ain't exactly black, but he not white neither. He's Hispanic. But that's what Floyd was doing. The only black fighter that Floyd had fought leading up to his final fight was against Andre Berto. He fought Ricky Hatton. He fought Manny Pacquiao. He fought Marcos Maidana. He fought, Victor Ortiz. For real. And that's why I have such a problem with Floyd. Now, we all know the Floyd Mayweather nut huggers, because he got some super nut huggers too. That's going to try to defend what Floyd been doing. Look, I want to make this very clear. When Tank came out wearing that sombrero and all that shit, I wasn't feeling that. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I don't give a fuck about the Mexican fans being mad. Too fucking bad. Tank ain't Mexican, he black. And I've yet to see a fighter come out in the dashiki. Why ain't Floyd ever came out in the dashiki? And Floyd did that shit. What you paying homage to them for? I don't see them paying homage to us. I didn't see Leo Santa Cruz coming out in a George Floyd t-shirt. I ain't seen none of these Mexican fighters. You know what I'm saying? Saying rest in peace Breonna Taylor or Ahmaud Arbery or something. No. And this is what I mean by certain black people pandering. See, like I told you, I ain't like the rest of these fake content creators. Because they fake. Sit up there and they try to watch their tongue because they don't want to say, I wasn't feeling that shit. When Tank came out in that sombrero and all that stuff. Like I said, no disrespect to the Mexicans, but at the end of the day, for real, I got to say what I got to say. I'm a brother. I ain't trying to offend y'all, but if you offended, too fucking bad. Tank black. For real. I guess I'm going to just have to be the only one to call Tank out for that fake ass shit, because that shit was fake. For real. I've yet to see a Mexican fighter come out in a dashiki or something. And then again, I would have a problem with that because I would think they trying to be funny. But that's what I'm saying. Now, if you would have maybe a R.I.P., Ahmaud Arbery or something, I'll be all right, cool. But see, that's what I mean. Nobody really wants to cater and pander to us. But that's what I'm saying about, and that, like I said, man, I just got to call it how I see it, man. That was just some straight coon shit that Tank did via Floyd Mayweather. And I think to a certain degree, the Mexicans is starting to get wind of that. And I think they started to get hip to that shit now. Okay? Tank is fighting certain type of Mexican fighters. But we all knew Leo Santa Cruz didn't have no real power, so we knew eventually Tank would be able to overwhelm him and get him out of there. But like I said before, Gary Russell Jr. and Tank should be happening. If they would have started negotiating like around November, they could have got this fight made in February. Perfect for Black History Month. But we all know these dudes don't care about that. Like I said, Floyd is just such a disappointment outside of boxing. He really have no idea how big he could have been if he would have stopped playing these fake ass games and stop being such a hater and stop being envious of other black men and not wanting to share the spotlight. But that's how Floyd roll. Like I said, I had to say that shit. I wasn't feeling Tank coming out in that sombrero and all that stuff, man. That was some straight sellout coon shit. And it just need to be said. Like I told you, I'm not afraid to say what other people was thinking, and I'll put it out there. This is why I have such an issue with Al Heyman and Floyd. Because like I said, they don't be wanting to give no brothers no payday. Like I said, Gary Russell Jr. career been sitting up getting wasted. And I know people say, well, I can't make Tank fight Gary Russell Jr. Well, you show us, you technically you could kind of if you say, well, you know what? I won't make no fights. People keep saying that Al would be on board with a fight like this, but Floyd and Tank don't. But like I said, I'm still not giving Al Heyman a pass because Al Heyman did some bullshit. I respect him, but Al did some bullshit too. But this is what I'm saying. This how Floyd roll. This need, like, for real, man. Taking out fighting Gary Russell Jr. is just very sad. And everybody trying to play this protect your old game. Everybody trying to be Floyd Mayweather. Like him or not, good or bad, there's only going to be one Floyd Mayweather. Tank ain't Floyd Mayweather at all. And neither is Errol Spence. So I'm just keeping it 100. It just needed to be said. And shame on Tank for not giving Gary Russell Jr. his opportunity. And as I said before, nobody cares if Tank loses to Gary Russell Jr. Life moves on. We talk about it. We say, hey, what's next for Tank? How can he bounce back? Because at the end of the day, it's a win for us, for the brothers. And this is what Floyd and the PBC been doing. They ain't really been pushing these black versus black fights. And some of the most successful fights that's happened been between black fighters. So, yeah, I needed to get that out there. But yeah, this your boy Town Biz. I'm out.